Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to the
Hello.
live discussion session. Welcome to the live discussion session for fourth Sylhet Film Festival 2020, and this will be the first live discussion with our international filmmakers. And my name is Munaim Hussain. I'll be your host for this session, and I'll be joined by four filmmakers from among the whole world. Very fantastic opportunity for me and also others who are interested in film and to make more other kind of film activities. And I hope that we will be discussing many topics about film, and we'll be also interacting with our films and the cultures regarding our industries and all sorts of issues. So let's not waste any time and jump into our session. First of all, I'd like to introduce you with all our filmmakers, and please respond when I introduce you. First of all, we have Mr. Robert Brown from Great Britain,
Hello. Hi.
and
Hi.
then
Can
we have Mr. Mostofa.
Yes,
Can you hear
Mustafa
me, Mr.
Afi.
Mostofa?
Yes, Mustafa Afi. I'm from Egypt.
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Mostofa from Egypt, and we also have Dr. Milind from India.
Yeah. Hello.
hi.
Okay. First of all, this is a very interesting opportunity for us because we have four person from four countries, including myself, me from Bangladesh, Mr. Robert from UK, Mr. Mustafa from Egypt, and Mr. Milind from India. And this will be very fascinating, I think. First of all, I would like to talk with. I'd like Mr. Robert Brown to speak as for himself, his interaction and his contribution in this film industry.
Sorry, the sound is a bit quiet, but could you repeat that?
I'd like you to introduce yourself very shortly regarding your film aspect.
Yes, yeah. So Robert Brown from the UK, and I made a short film called Fire and Water, which is a little 2-minute animated film. It's a story of opposites attract, but the path to true love is not easy, basically. It concerns a fiery man and a watery woman, basically, and how they can't really get together.
Okay.
That that's very interesting. As sort of Mr. Brown, I think he's more than 30 years of experience in animation, and the animation movie was quite also spectacular. As he said, this animation movie was very distinguished between two different personalities, and it is very good. I'd like to go to Mr. Mustafa to describe his about his film, which is viewed in this festival. Also, his interaction regarding the film industry.
Okay. First of all, I'm Mustafa Afi. I'm from Egypt. I'm 39 years old. My film, Life Path, it talks about a man who has to make a choice between his career and the stability of his job as an accounts auditor and the passion he loves. He loves to make movies. He wants to be a movie director. Okay, and he has to make that choice in his life whether to go here or there. And it talks a
Very
while
good.
also, yes, and it also talks about the companies of the private sector in Egypt and how they treat their employees. If you see the film today, you'll see that Mahmoud, the main character, finally made the choice by following his passion and quitting his career and quitting his job to follow his dream. And he didn't do it just out of passion, but he also did it because of the circumstances of the companies of the private sector and how they treat him, how they treat him in the evaluation every year, okay, and that stuff.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mustafa.
Thank
That was
you.
a very nice and brief description of your film project. Now I'd like to go to Mr. Milind, and I would like him to talk about his film, which has been submitted in this festival, and also his introduction regarding this industry.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Milind Dhoke. I belong to a city called Amravati in Maharashtra state of India. And time is around 11:14 p.m. here, and the weather is rainy. First of all, I would like to congratulate Sylhet International Film Festival for organizing this wonderful film festival. And I would like to congratulate all my fellow filmmakers that we all are here. And I'm completely overwhelmed with this response. And I'm very honored to meet you all. Talking about my film, The Vengeance, it is a fiction film. It is a dark in nature, and it's of horror genre basically. It's an open ending film, and it shows the difference between revenge and vengeance. At the end, it leaves you with a question that what was correct and what was incorrect. So basically, this film has no answer. It is a question in itself. It asks you the question that what is right and what is wrong. So you have to decide by yourself by watching the film. So this is about it.
That's very good. I've seen the film. It was very fascinating, and
Thank you very much.
this is something between I think this vengeance. Vengeance is sometimes a very conflicting issue, which will be
Yeah.
which I'll go back to you a little better. So I would like to ask me to Mr. Brown to talk something about animation in our industry or in this modern era. Most of the people consider animation as a form of entertainment only, and I myself is very fond of animation, American animation series or Japanese animation series. I also watch them very frequently, and never ever I have thought this about something serious. Serious means which will be used to address our social issues or our global issues, or which will be addressed to us regarding regarding major issues. We also we most of the people always view this as something very fascinating, very funny, which will give us unlimited fun. But I would like to ask you about what animation can do to spread the awareness or to spread our social morality in this era.
I think animation can do anything. It can portray any powerful message because it's more accessible. People relate more to it. I think it can work well in animation. Basically, it can portray loads of different messages. However it's done, it doesn't have to be just animation for children. It can have mature themes as well.
Okay. This in this situation, sometimes we can see that the animation industry is based on fantasy or supernatural genre or something sort of which is not real in this era, but they try to send us some a message through all sorts of interactions between characters or those portrayals. Do you think in this situation, through this commercial animation industry, awareness or social messages or the things which should be depicting in animation other than simple fun, which is addressed to younger peoples, mostly up to 15 years or 16 years, can they elevate this situation?
Sorry, I missed that on the sound. Not quite sure what you were saying.
I was saying that in this era, the modern industry is using animation to send some message through their interactions with the characters, and they're using those means which could be understood for most of the times people who are aged maximum 15, 16 or 20, but can they elevate this situation, which will be more appreciated by all sorts of audiences, as animation is sometimes depicted as only for people who are not who are below 15 or 16.
Yes, I think animation could attract all ages, really. I mean, it's perceived as being for children, but not really. Sort of more adult animation, uh, you know, mostly on the festival circuit, is definitely very good.
Okay, that's very good. Now I would like to go to Mr. Mostofa.
Mhm.
The film, your film, there was this character, I think, called Mr. Mahmoud,
Yeah.
where he faced a situation to choose between his career and passion. So
Exactly.
I'd like to integrate those two things. In your country,
Hmm.
if someone's passion is film and he choose to do this, and he choose to do this as a part of career, what are the troubles you will face in
Hmm.
regards of Egypt?
Well, here in Egypt, it's a very hard decision. I mean, what Mahmoud did was something that relates only to Mahmoud, because he's not single. He's single. He's not married. He doesn't have family, so he doesn't have people to support. Okay, it mostly depends on the economic life, because if you have a career and you have a job and you have a payroll every month, then you have a stable income. Okay, so you won't be doing this. By doing this, you're just like someone who's committing suicide. And but actually, for Mahmoud, he had to make that choice because the way his company was treating him. Okay, and that's another problem we have in Egypt, because sometimes the private sector and the companies of the private sector are kind of rough with their employees. They're not actually they sometimes they won't be somehow fair with them. Okay, in the evaluation, or when they have a promotion or something like that, they have to delay it in order to like reduce their costs. Okay, so Mahmoud, when he found himself that he doesn't well, how can I say it? He doesn't fulfill himself in his job. He had to find a way to prove to himself that he's doing something and he's worthy of something and he believes in something, and especially that he is doing something that he believes in. When he started, as you can see in the film, the filmmaking workshop, he started to find something that he truly loves, he truly wants to do. And when he had to make that choice, his company helped him to take that decision. Okay.
Okay, I would
Okay.
like to ask you. We saw the happy ending in this film, that Mahmoud chose his passion.
Exactly.
Mahmoud chose his passion over all
Yes.
the careers.
Yes, Mahmoud.
What do you think? What do you think will happen to Mahmoud after this film? I'm saying that as he chose his passion to continue over his job, will he face any sorts of troubles which will again make him to feel regret over this? Because sometimes in our real life we also choose our passion over other things, but in the long run sometimes people feel regret that they have chosen the wrong. And
Yeah.
in Asia, especially in India and Bangladesh, choosing filmmaking as passion and both as career is very difficult to make it out. So, what do you think about Mahmoud in this regard regarding Egypt?
Mhm. Well, first of all, about the story, it's some kind of an open ending. Okay, we just find him that he's doing what he loves the most, and he's ending the film in a happy way. He's in the location. He's filming his first film. Okay, and the camera is coming track in towards himself, and he says the word action. Action is what we say as filmmakers when we start shooting our films. But in this case, it means it's a symbol. It means that it's action, so he can begin his new life, with the new challenges that he's gonna face. Of course, Mahmoud is gonna face new challenges in his new life, and of course, when you go in any kind of life, in any job, there is of course going to be challenges that you are going to meet, and you have to face them. Okay, and you have to move forward so you can follow your dream. Okay. And well, I would like to say something. Actually, this is actually my own story, okay? Because I was working in the private sector, and I have made a shift career in my life, and I've been right now. This is my second year in the business of filmmaking, okay? And so far, well, I'm doing so far so good. Yeah, yes. So, and I'm happy with what I'm doing. Yes, of course, I'm happy with doing what I love. But yes, I may find some problems with the income issue, but it's stable. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Okay, and I'm sure that Mahmoud, the main character, is going to be going through the same thing. He's passionate. He follow his dreams, and I'm sure he's a fighter. He's going to keep on going to do what he loves and do what he does best.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mostofa.
Thank
Now,
you.
I'd like to go to Dr. Milind. And his film was very fascinating. It was some sort of reality mixed with fantasy. I'd like to know about how he thought of directing this film, how the total process came to him when he
Uh,
first visioned directing this film.
okay, so let me start. Independent filmmaking is something that you have very insufficient budget, you have very less resources, equipment, human resources. You have so many problems while making an independent film. So when I decided to make a film, the first thing that was in my mind was to have something in little bits. Like if you have a location, then have just one or two locations. If you want to have actors, just have one or two actors. If you so it was the basic idea behind that, and so I thought a particular subject, a story that can revolve around my practical issues, right? So this was my practical issue, that I was not having equipment, I was not having enough human resources, I was not having enough locations, etc., etc. So I come to this idea that let's make a horror movie, because this is, I think, the toughest part for a director is to convey a horror movie to audience, right? Because it is not drama, that it is not a comedy, it is not something that is mostly dependent on actors. Horror movie is mostly dependent on a director, on a filmmaker. A filmmaker has to create that what can I say, filmmaker has to create that feeling to by which somebody can scare, somebody get frightened. So I just wrote that down, and coincidentally, the first idea of vengeance came to me by a house where I visited just, uh, and that house was it was said to be haunted, and I thought, like, if something is it is like something haunted, let's try and make a film. So I just wrote it down and made it. So that was the general story, or I can say that was the initial idea while making the film. Yeah, so that was it. Hello, hello.
Mr. Monem, are you there?
Oh, she's gone. He's
No,
gone.
no. I
Yeah,
think
he's gone.
yeah, I think some technical issues are there.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He will be back.
Hmm. Okay.
So, did you get funding for your film, or you self-funded it?
No, no, actually, I had to produce it by my own. I invested my own money, and I had a partner with me who invested half of the money, and we made that film. And by the grace of God, we successfully uh, earned profit from it. And it was it was a healthy business, uh, with that film we had.
Yes, I see.
Okay.
Yeah, mine was like self-funded. It was all just did it by myself. Just the music I had to pay for, really. So yeah, and time.
Okay.
I had a quiet period in work, so that was quite good. 7 months. So
Yes, in fact, I also needed 7 to 8 months to finish my 15 minutes movie, really, because of the lack of budget. So
Oh,
I had to do all those stuff by myself. So it took 7 to 8 months for me to finish it. I think by November I started making it, and by April I had the finished product in my hand. So I think
mhm.
that was around 6 to 7 months,
It's a long
long
time,
time.
long business
A
filmmaking.
very long time.
that's a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
long time.
That's
yeah.
Mm.
right.
It's a long time.
So I'd like to ask Mr. Milind about
Yes,
another thing. You have
yes,
depicted vengeance in this movie,
yeah,
vengeance and revenge. I think those two things.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
as we know, in our Bollywood, in the Bollywood industry,
yeah,
or in Bangladesh, most of the
yeah,
movies, the protagonist seems to love take this vengeance, this revenge. They're very
yeah,
fascinated, they're very determined to take their vengeance and revenge. And most of the
revenge. Yeah,
people who are the viewers, they like it. They like
yeah,
the vengeance thing. They like this revenge thing.
yeah,
They think that it is very comforting that the protagonist has got justice for what was happened to him. This
yeah.
vengeance, they relate this vengeance to justice. Is this
Hmm.
justified? Is vengeance
Hmm.
is related to justice? And how we can raise awareness that these things are equal or not? What do you say about this?
Look, uh, in the film, you'll find three characters. One is Samir, a painting student. Another is his friend, also a painting student, and one is the teacher. Right. So what happens is there is a circle, right? There is a circle that what happens. The Samir, because of the jealousy, he kills his teacher, right? So what happens? It is a fiction film. It is a fantasy film. The ghost of that teacher kills Samir to take vengeance of his death. He wanted to have vengeance of his death. But now what happens? The ghost of Samir, again a fantasy, the ghost of Samir returns to kill his friend to pursue revenge. So basically, the difference here is vengeance is something that has been done to get justice. The teacher the teacher killed the antagonist to get justice, but the antagonist is trying to kill protagonist to have the revenge. And so what I have tried to show is revenge is bad, but vengeance is needed to kill the bad. So if you have listened a Sanskrit shlok in India, it is said that ahimsa paramo dharma, hinsa dharma tadaivacha. So it means that violence is non-violence is the ultimate dharma, ultimate religion. But sometimes violence is needed to protect dharma, and that violence is we can call vengeance or that something we can call that. But revenge is not the part of that, and that was based on the philosophy of Dr. Samuel Johnson. That was a great, I can say, the writer from the European country. And I was very much fascinated. I was very much touched by that thought. So I personally felt that these two things should be properly demonstrated. Revenge. So that was it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Milin. That is very resourceful. Actually, all the times we think that vengeance is very good, and if you can relate it to justice, then there is nothing wrong about vengeance. If a person can do some bad things or harms, to others in the name of justice and vengeance, then they think that it is okay, but actually it is not. And now I'd like to
Yes, yes.
go to Mr. Brown. You have a vast experience of 30 years, and you have chosen this animation as your passion and your career. How difficult was it at the beginning, this choosing animation as your career?
Um, when I first started, there wasn't much happening. There wasn't like many universities doing animation. Like nowadays, there's lots of universities all over the country in different countries. But there was only about 3 or 4, and on my course there was only 4 people. This is like 34 years ago, so quite a while. But yeah, so I started off in traditional hand-drawn animation, pencil on paper. My last film, Fire and Water, is pencil and paper. So I've still gone back to it because I still love drawing on paper. But I work digitally normally for commercial work. So yeah, so it's all changed so much now because so much software available nowadays, which is a bit of a problem because different studios use different software. So you have to get to grips with all the software, and there's so many different, and if you're self-employed, you have to buy all the software. So it's difficult that way. But yeah, but there's so much more happening now, isn't there? Sort of online stuff. Whereas before it's just a few TV channels and probably sell across the world. But now it's all opened up and virtual reality and everything. So yeah, it's totally transformed, and more people are doing it. More people are coming into it and studying it, which is good. Good thing, I think. So yeah.
Uh, as you have said about this, there are now a lot of softwares and a lot of things which are very hard to catch up. If there is someone who wants to pursue a career in animation, but who is not economically perfect or have some financial issues, how can he pursue this career? How can he begin his first steps? What are your suggestions?
I always think drawing is the key thing, really. If you're doing hand drawn, I mean, there's CGI animation, of course, so you don't need to draw, but fundamentals of drawing, good life drawing is a good basis for starting out, and yeah, sort of just studying at university, but be observant. But there's lots of good books nowadays as well. So many good books you can read on animation. But yeah, no, there's lots you can do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. That was some very good advice. Now I'd like to go to Mr. Mostofa. And as in Egypt, how is choosing filmmaking as a career is received to all? How it is viewed by others?
Well, actually, it's a big business here in Egypt, and trust me, lots of people are fans of the movies, and they love the movies, and they love to go to cinemas, and they love to watch movies from the States, from India, from Britain. So yeah, no, everybody likes movies, and everybody likes actors, directors, and the culture right now is changing because people accepting this industry and loving it, and it has been an industry for a long time in Egypt, even from the 50s and before that, even in the 30s even. It's very respectful industry here in Egypt.
Okay. Is this industry following the traditions of your country, or is it now embracing the other film industries, or following them, as it has been happening all over the world?
Like what exactly? What exactly you're asking about?
I'm asking about like many countries are following what the Western Hollywood industry. It is a big attractive industry, so they are following what they can do to attract those people. So sometimes they are having some ideas from those industries, or trying to implant some things from those kind of cultures, like the portrayal of the characters, or the dress ups, or the story writing, or the setups. How it is in Egypt are is still the tradition is going the traditional filmmaking is going well in Egypt, or they are embracing those Hollywood or other attractive industries day by day.
Well, when you're talking about technicalities, of course, we're learning from the other countries and we're learning from the other cultures. But actually, when we're doing our stories, we are committed to Egyptian traditions and Egyptian beliefs. Okay. We talk about the Egyptian, most of the cinemas, most of the great Egyptian directors like Muhammad Khan and Atf Tayyib have been taking their cameras into the streets and shooting what they see in the streets, and what's there on the streets is what you see on their films, and that's what makes their films most successful. Okay, because we introduce what's happening into our country. But of course, we
Okay,
learn technicalities from the other industries, of course, as well.
I understand.
Okay.
That's very reassuring.
Mhm.
I'd like to ask Mr. Milind, in case of your industry in India, the Bollywood industry, they are expanding day by day into the whole world. They most now many people know about Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Amir Khan, Akshay Kumar, but they are mostly known for their commercial films, the commercial films, which is full of entertainment. But the independent filmmakers cannot make that kind of a big scene. Yes, they're going to film festivals. Their films are being showed in film festivals. People are seeing them, but not in that kind of broad aspect, like how the Khans are doing. How can this industry embrace this independent filmmaking and can take it up to the next level into the whole world, other than these other than our mandatory festivals or other sorts of media?
Uh, Actually, it is a very big question. What happens that film industry is not an organized industry, first of all. Like if you talk about any other, uh, what can I say, any other business, like when we talk about any other business, that is an organized business. Like government operates that properly. But when we talk about film industry, it is a private business, right? Government has no power in it. So what happens? A particular group of people who are like who are on the top, they handle the industry as they want. So if they want a new entry, they can welcome it. If they want to throw that entry, they can do it. So that is what generally happens here. But talking about independent filmmaking, how it should survive, uh, there are some measures that government has taken. Like, let me tell you, I am from Maharashtra. My native language is Marathi here, and in Maharashtra we get a subsidy for Marathi films. Like, if we release
Oh,
Marathi films on theaters, then we get around 30 to 40 lakh rupees from government if the film is like if the film passes their process in that case only. So government is trying to help independent filmmakers, but it is very difficult to enter into the private sector of film business. So we are hoping that independent filmmaking will enter into the top. Some Marathi movies has done well, pretty well. If you must have heard about Sairat Marathi film that went that just went like a fire, and it was super success in India. So it is a small, what can I say? It is a step by step process. Independent filmmaking 10 years before it was very down. 10 years now it is somewhat up. After 10 years it will be some stages up. So we are hoping for the best. Let's see what happens in future. we are trying our level best for that.
Yeah, I hope so. We will see this independent filmmaking in very broad stage, and most importantly, among everyone,
Yeah.
every viewer, everyone, so that we can understand it and we can spread it also among others. Now, I'd like to ask Mr. Brown about this modern era of animation, how it is like to switch between 3D from 2D and other kind of software for you. You have been working for so long in this industry, and you have seen many changes in animation industry. How was it like to you when you embraced these new things from the old generation?
Yeah, it was difficult to get into digital animation. I don't do 3D animation, CGI. It's just 2D, still hand drawn, but a lot of it's sort of puppet based, cutout sort of style animation. But so it's quite difficult learning some of the software. But basically, you still got to draw. Most of the stuff I do is drawn, even though it's drawn digitally on a Cintiq or a Wacom tablet into the computer. It's still drawn, but it is a transformation from paper. You have a lot of technical problems that come along, and whereas before you just have a blunt pencil and you just have to resharpen it. But yeah, so it is different, but it does speed up the process a lot as well. So that's good. It's a lot quicker. But I don't think I'll always stay 2D. I don't think I'll go into CGI.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to I'd like to know your opinion on one thing. It has resurfaced a few years ago. Nowadays, all movie lovers among the world are mostly fascinated by those superhero movies, the movies from Marvel Cinematic Universe or DC Cinematic Universe, and they use extensive CGI and other sorts of technological instruments. And sometimes people are saying that using CGI or this 3D technology too much is causing the loss of aesthetic value of films, which is also sometimes a debatable thing among animation, that moving to 2D from moving to 3D from 2D or using these CGIs is losing the aesthetic value of animation, making those kind of scenes or portraying these matters. What is your opinion on this situation?
What CGI and like motion capture? You mean? Do you mean motion capture?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you? Yes, you can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. We can hear you.
The network is not good here, I guess.
Mr. Monem, are you there?
He's frozen.
Yeah.
I think he's having some technical issues again.
Yeah. Well, he will be back. I'm sure he's gonna be back.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
It's too long.
Well, it seems that he's gone now. Oh, he's coming back. Yeah, he's coming back. Welcome back. We missed you.
Welcome.
I'm very, thank you very much. Oh,
Okay.
I miss you more than this. I think.
Okay.
I'm very sorry. That network here seems very disturbing. So I I could not connect with you. So with further time, I'd like to go back to Mr. Brown. I think. Did you hear my question properly, or do I have to repeat myself?
If you could a bit, it was about CGI.
Yeah, yeah. It was about CGI. It was about losing the aesthetic value of animation and movies altogether, using the extensive use of CGI and other technologies. What is your opinion on that?
It doesn't bother me. I think it's a good thing, I guess. It's, I'm not really into it that much, but I think a lot of CGI, like all the Marvel films, there's so much happening in there now. There's you just can't take it all in because there's so much going on. So clever, but it's and CGI animation is getting a bit samey, you know, and it's getting sort of photorealistic, which I don't see the point of really. I think I'd rather see something rougher and drawn, but that's just my own preference. But no, it's all very good though. It's great work being done. It's good.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, this is very disturbing. I'm very sorry for your inconvenience.
It's okay.
I'd like to go to Mr. Mostofa.
Yes.
And are you familiar with the industries, the film industry of India?
I've watched a few movies in India and I love them. Like Black for Amitabh Bachchan, it was amazing. I loved it. It talks about the girl that can't hear and can't talk and can't see, and he's her teacher. This film was inspiring. It was beautiful. I've also seen My Name is Khan. It's beautiful, amazing, and it talks about the struggle between cultures and how cultures should be completing each other, not competing with each other. And of course, I've seen some of the old Indian films like Amar Akbar Anthony, Mard, and this stuff. Yes, I'm a huge fan of Amitabh Bachchan by myself. Yes. And
Okay.
of course, there is a film I remember I saw for Shah Rukh Khan. Its name is Dilwal. Yeah, I love this film. It was musical and it was kind of romantic comedy. Yeah. So yes, I watch between now and then Bollywood movies. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh, okay.
Okay.
Have you watched any Bollywood movies yet, or what is the favorite thing that you love about Bollywood industry?
Well, uh, actually, the most film that I like is Black. So if I'm going to talk about any film, I'm going to talk about Black because I loved how the director was taking care of his frame. There was a scene when he was using the theater when the mother just found out that her daughter is blind and can't hear.
Yeah.
I remember actually the opening scene when with the church and the girl approaching towards the
Yeah.
church. This scene was marvelous. It was amazing. I felt like the director and the director of photography were like painting, giving us a painting on the screen. It was beautiful. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And actually, when they were the scene when she was in the hospital with her teacher, and then they were moving the camera sidetrack from behind the bars, and then the bars starting to moving faster, so we can go to the flashback to the beginning of the story. This film is amazing. To be fair and honest, this film is amazing.
That's a great observation you have done. Really.
Yeah. Actually, I'm a huge fan of this film, and I love this film so much.
Yeah,
Also, another film that I've seen from Bollywood, its name was like English Finglish or something like that. It
English to
tells
English.
this,
Yeah, English to
yeah,
English.
yeah, it tells the
English
story.
to
It's
English.
it's a light drama, and it tells the story of a woman that travels to the States so she can attend the wedding of her niece or some relative of hers.
Yeah, yeah.
But then she starts to find trouble because she can't speak English, and she finds trouble in the street or in the coffee shop, and then she starts learning English to prove herself among the people. Yeah, this movie was beautiful. So what I like about the Bollywood films, that how they do pick their subjects, the subject of their films, and how they can give us a story so we can see it without feeling bored or anything. It's amazing what they do.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great.
Mr. Maniam, are you there?
Quiet.
Yeah, it seems that he's out again.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I can hear you.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
happening, but I can, but I,
Oh,
no, no,
okay.
no, I can hear you.
Hmm.
I'm very sorry for this bad net.
It's okay.
Now I'd like to go to Mr. Milind, and
Hmm.
Yeah.
as Bollywood industry is spreading, and they're also setting some other things. As we've seen, as you've said earlier, that Marathi films and other Telugu films, which are not Hindi films, but among India, but not included in Bollywood industry, these are spreading day by day. And viewed as spectacle the whole, but attraction. How do you think Bollywood can cope up with them? Because as we can see that Bollywood films are too much spicy. Sometimes these are viewed as spicy by others, and
Yeah.
also people do not some foreign viewers who tends to watch Bollywood films.
Oh,
Oh, it's gone.
yeah.
Yeah, he's gone again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone again.
Yeah.
But really, so your observation for the black was very outstanding. I really love the way you narrated
Yeah,
how the
it's one
black
of my
film was
favorite
going.
films. Yeah, it's one of my favorite
Yeah,
films. I love it. I love it.
I'll have to
Yeah.
check
it was
Coke
it was
Black.
very well accepted in India also.
Hmm.
Hello.
Back. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
we
yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear
I
you.
think I have when this network disturbance comes. I'm very sorry for that, and I don't know how much time I'm going to say I'm sorry.
There's no need for that.
No,
It's okay.
Uh,
it's okay. It's okay. I just
Yeah.
can you just repeat the question for me again?
I'll have to fix that issue later. Uh, I think Mr. Milling can hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You were just asking the
I'm
question.
saying that
I
how Bollywood industries can cope up with other industries
yeah,
if they want to interact with each other, because we want to always we want to take our culture
yeah.
from others, take some good things from others, and we want to this thing in industry. So what Bollywood can do to
Uh,
enrich themselves from other industries, and how Bollywood can uh, contribute in giving away their good qualities for other industries, such as you can have your example as Egyptian films in Egypt,
yeah.
how Bollywood can contribute them, and how also Egypt can contribute into the Bollywood
I think there is some serious issue of network he is facing.
Yeah, yeah. He was talking about how the Indian film industry can keep
Yeah,
up with the other film industry in the
other
world,
industry.
like Hollywood or Egypt,
Yeah,
and how can Egypt keep up with Hollywood or Bollywood? That was his question.
yeah. Actually,
Okay.
he was more concerned regarding the original cinemas. I think.
Mm.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
His picture is frozen, but he's not here.
Yeah. His picture is frozen.
Mhm.
Okay. So talking about that, what can I say? That regional cinema is expanding in India. Like we have many languages here. Hindi, you can see the Hindi is the most used language here. So the Bollywood industry is more famous. But apart from that, we have Bengali cinema, we have Marathi cinema, we have Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam. We have a number of languages being spoken here, and a number of films being made on those languages. And that those films are getting a good kind of support from audiences because that connects them more, right? If somebody speak with me in my native language, I will get connected soon. So that's what happens. uh, Original cinema is getting more support from audiences, but as we all know that Bollywood is a big industry, and as as everybody in India knows Hindi, most of the states talk Hindi here. So the Bollywood is vast. So Bollywood is more spreaded network of films here as compared to the original cinema. I think he's
Okay.
like, hello.
He's back. Okay. Welcome back.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Uh,
Yeah. We
at
had a
last,
small discussion
we'll
here.
finish. Thank you very much. I was viewing from other device, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will finish. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'd like to uh, I'd like to go back to Mr. Brown, and shortly this will be the finish of our discussion, this trouble discussion. I apologize for that again. Uh, how do you think this animation industry can relate to, what should I say? We have talked about the Egyptian cultures. We have also talked about the Bollywood film industries. So animation is a vast thing. It is a place where everything can be mashed up. We don't have to think about the cultural differences. We don't have to think about the people portraying their scenes. We can do anything we want in animation. How do you think it will contribute in interaction of film industries, interaction of independent filmmaking from all around the world?
Animation, you can do anything in animation. You're just limited by your imagination, really. I think stories are going to change, in the future, and they can reflect your own culture. It's just open to anything, really. Whoever, comes up with something will take it forward to the next stage. If that answers your question, I'm not sure. Oh, God.
He's gone again.
So I think again a network issue.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, coming back.
No, that's not him. That's the other guy.
Oh,
Probably comes to the end now.
the other guy. We are having another guy here.
There was a guy.
The first one who introduced us in the beginning of the
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
beginning of the meeting.
that wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Guys, I think we can end this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of some network issue, he can't join us again. Sorry for that. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. I really enjoyed the whole discussion very well. Thanks for being here.
That's okay.
That's it.
Okay, so thank you very much. It was a great session. It was a great session.
Thank you very much. I had lots of fun meeting all of you, and it was my honor.
Yeah, all of you.
Yeah.
It's a great honor. It's a great honor to meet you all.
Yes.
It-
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's all mine. It's all mine. Thank you.
With all your films.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
And good luck. Good luck with the festival to all of you.
Yes, and to the festival.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to all of you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
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 Bye.